All right, welcome back to the Soft Compound. We just finished up the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend, and it was a relatively boring weekend, but we definitely have some stuff to talk about. Tried out a new sprint format. If you watched our preview, we ran through what we thought it was going to look like. And like I said, definitely some other stuff to talk about. We had some good teamwork between Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso over at Aston Martin. Checo's big dub obviously remains king of the streets. And yeah, really scary incident involving Esteban Ocon. If you watched the race, you definitely saw it. So I'd like to get into that a little bit too. We're going to jump back into the F1 2022 game. We're going to drive Baku again. And you get another chance to make fun of me for how bad I am at this game. It is hard to talk and drive at the same time, though. I think I got it down, though. I think we got it mastered. So with that said, let's jump right into the game, and we'll get into this stuff. All right, starting the first lap of this video, the first thing I really want to get into is just the new format that we tried out this weekend. So if you remember, if you watched the preview, we definitely talked about it. It was announced like 2 or 3 days before the Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. So I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. We were let know that this was happening. A lot of mixed opinions on it, and I definitely just kind of want to share mine. So my main thing that I don't hear too many people talking about it, and it might just be because I'm not the most educated as a whole in Formula One. But here's what I will say: it seemed a little short. I felt a little shorted, you could say, on my time watching Formula One this weekend. Saturday seemed very quick, I don't know. Qualifying was a 10-minute or a 12-minute session, a 10-minute session, followed by an 8-minute session. Just not a lot of time to watch cars running on track, in my opinion. And then I thought I would really enjoy Saturday being a standalone event, but to be honest, I don't know. It seemed almost. I know I said it's not meaningless. If you watch the preview, like I said, I know I said that there's 8 points to score and everything like that. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy watching 2 races in one weekend. I don't know why. I don't even have like an exact reason. But like I said, the double race, the almost mini race within the weekend, just wasn't doing it for me. I'd love to hear what you guys thought, because like I said, it's such a big change, and this is what we're going to be running for the remainder of the sprint races throughout the season. So I don't know. It didn't really do it for me. It didn't add too much more excitement. Was it better than watching an FP3? Maybe, probably. But like I said, really just wasn't doing it for me. All right, new lap, new topic. One thing I definitely want to hit on, because it was just so awesome to see, was the teamwork over at Aston Martin between Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, and honestly the whole team. They are in such a good spot right now. They have an amazing car. I think they really understand the concept that they're running with, and I think they're only going to improve from here. But one thing I definitely want to talk about is the relationship between Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, something that honestly I did not expect to be too great coming in to the season. If you remember last year, there was a nasty incident where they were both on a straight, obviously on different teams, but they were both on a straight. Fernando Alonso went for the pass, and Lance Stroll basically made a late maneuver and popped Fernando Alonso's car up in the air, basically did a wheelie. Thought that would start some beef. Definitely did not. Pretty early on in the race, Lance Stroll is right behind Fernando Alonso and tells his engineer to tell Alonso, I'm not going to attack. We're on the same team. We got the same goal in mind. We're trying to score points here. And message is relayed to Alonso, and basically he's like, he can have a go if he wants, but like we're going to be past the cars in front of us soon, so let's just do it, man. Let's just do it. And it's really, really awesome to see. Another thing I want to hit on, I don't know exactly what lap it was, but maybe around just past the halfway point of the race, Alonso goes to his engineer and tells him to share the brake balance settings that he's using because he thought it was working good. And this happens to be right before Lance almost lost the car under braking. So definitely probably was a big help to Lance. And another thing that I wanted to mention really quick, I saw it on Twitter today, was that Fernando Alonso said he really wants to help Lance Stroll because he thinks he's going to lead Aston Martin for the next 10 to 15 years. Crazy amount of time. But such a cool scenario to see. Like I said, Fernando Alonso, coming from Alpine, didn't have the best relationship with really anybody there, kind of was very vocal about getting out of that team and wanted to have a fresh start. So super, super awesome to see from Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, and the whole Aston Martin team. All right, starting a new lap here at Baku. Definitely have to talk about Red Bull this weekend. Checo had 2 huge wins, winner of the sprint, winner of the Grand Prix. King of the streets yet again, man. He's on absolute form this year. It's really nice to see him have some confidence over Red Bull, confidence with the setup, confidence with the car, and clearly it's paying off. So a couple things I want to talk about. Obviously, if you watch the race, you saw Max had a pretty unfortunate pit stop. He was in first, decides to pit. He's losing the rears. The tires were gone. It was the optimal time to pit performance-wise. But right before that, Nick DeVries finds himself in the wall, in the Red Bull pit lane, or pit wall, I should say. Doesn't really realize that DeVries' car is shot. The left wheel is totally off. Not off, but it's not drivable. The car's not drivable at all. And so they had already committed to the pit stop for Max, and he loses P1 to Checo. Everyone got a free pit stop, obviously, under the safety car. And Checo's in P1, and nobody can catch him from there. Not even Max. One question I wanted to raise was, does something have to happen to Max for Checo to get the win? I don't know. So here's a few things to talk about. Right before the safety car shenanigan, Checo was behind Max with DRS. Definitely had a real chance to pull off and overtake at turn 1 coming around on the next lap. So if he did, and he got past Max, I don't know if Max would have caught him, because after the safety car, after the restart, nobody was able to catch Checo. Like I said, not even Max. Checo just proved yet again he is king of the streets, and he potentially could really battle for the title this year. Who knows? There's a long season. Max is an incredibly consistent driver, and he probably is the best driver on the grid in the best car. So who knows? But I'm here for a title battle between the two Red Bulls, man. I'll tell you that. That's going to be super interesting, because I don't know if anybody else is really going to compete. So Checo, see what you got. All right, this is going to be the final lap, the final topic of this video. We absolutely have to talk about the huge, almost huge incident in the pit lane with Esteban Ocon. So like I said, if you're watching the race, this is definitely the most exciting thing that happened throughout the whole event. So Ocon does the whole race on one set of tires. If you know, you should know, that is mandatory one pit stop. You have to use 2 sets of tires. You have to do 1 lap on a second set of tires throughout the race. So his strategy was to basically bank on a safety car or a red flag or something like that, which is pretty likely at a track like Baku. Not a lot of time for practice. Drivers, are making mistakes. So it was a good strategy, but when that didn't happen, he was forced to pit on the last lap. He comes into the pits, and Ted Kravitz starts freaking out. Oh my God, there's people in the pit lane. The camera cuts over, and there are 20 to 30 photographers and other, just, I don't know who they were, other grid people hanging out in the pit lane, getting ready for the, basically the celebrations. So I wouldn't really fault the actual people, because there's no chance that they knew that Ocon had to pit, but there is someone who tells them that they're okay to go out into the pit lane, and that person definitely should have known that Ocon had to pit. One thing, too, that I wanted to talk about is when you're watching these cars in the pit lane on TV, it looks like they're going 20 miles an hour. Couldn't be further from the truth. The average pit lane speed is like 80 to 90 miles per hour. So if any one of those people got hit, they weren't getting up. It was going to be a huge incident. And yeah, I don't know. It was really, really scary. And there's definitely going to be a review of those regulations as far as people being allowed to go into the pit lane before the races ended to set up for celebrations and things like that. So huge, almost really, really scary incident that would have been really, really, really bad. All right, and that kind of wraps up the video. That is all I have for you guys today. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix was a relatively boring weekend, but we definitely still had some stuff to talk about. Can't wait for Miami this weekend. They're in America, so I get to watch it at a normal time. I don't have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning or 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. That was ass, let me tell you. So super excited for that. Like I said, not really too much to talk about, but there was definitely some scary instances with this pit lane with Ocon. Checo, big dub, 2 dubs on the weekend. Great for him. Can we see a title battle between him and Max this year? I don't know, but I hope. I really, really hope. So thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I really, really appreciate it. This is kind of a new kind of format that we're trying out. I really enjoy making these videos, and I'm definitely going to keep doing them. So like I said, thank you for being here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.